Um, there are some of you that are out there, and I realize that a gazillion people are probably never going to have the opportunity, or, of course, opportunity is subjective. Okay, it depends on, how it works with learning acceleration speeds. This was the whole. I covered a video on AI learning and learning through spiritual teachers and the difference. Spirits with souls and living light versus dead light teachers. It's really what it is. So the last video that I did last night pretty much summed it up. That's what I call the short course. If I was going to walk into any military establishment with 4 stars on me, right, that would be the short course to all the other commanders of what they're having to deal with, because I'm not hierarchical in a military sense, but I've certainly know quite a bit about command authority, okay, of large forces like Starfleet stuff, okay. That's one of the reasons why I realized why I spent so much time as a child, because one of my partners that I had couldn't figure out why I had spent so much time and energy of what it really is penetrating layers of consciousness to go right to the core of other units of consciousness and the way that they think through the AI, how they strategize through the AI, to use the AI because they run off the AI, because it's the AI that is strategizing your moves. Okay, that's really how it works. So a lot of times you'll notice how when I present the communication on my video, because sometimes if people make comments, what have you, I'll go back, because it's always going to be different. The way that energy naturally flows out of me, out of my soul and the essence of my spirit, okay, to share with everyone in the entire multiverse what I've learned through all my experiences. I share what I experience with all of you because I love and care about all of you, okay? Because anytime that I experience a loss of a fractal in me, it means that somebody lost a fractal in them. That's what a hyper speed monopole is. Okay? Which now we're back to the purity of the light, which is the purity of the fire, which is the purity of the love that you're experiencing through my soul and spirit. Okay? I'm an oversoul. Okay? That's pretty hard. You're not going to crack that egg. Okay? That's eternal service. So I'm always in eternal service to the all creation, so that nobody in the all creation ever experiences anything less than the law of one. Okay? Because you honor the highest code. Okay? From which all creation is made manifest out of what love is. So you realize with the spirit of fire, how pure that fire is. It runs hot. That's like calcification stuff. And so I realized this as I was going along from childhood into my adulthood, because we have emotional energy. And I realized throughout my life, and I remember hearing somebody talk about how they're learning, and certain words that we use, what I call musical chairs. That's what they are. Letters are numbers, and numbers are imaginary. We just made them up to describe mathematically the underlying causality of being aware. Hey, I'm aware. That's energy, right? And so people that have really known me personally in any kind of structured programming environment I'm harmless, but there are times in which I'm like a barking dog. Okay, and when you're androgynous, which is perfect balance, which is hot fission, cold fusion, man, you're running a hot monopole. Yeah, of course, because you want to protect everything that you create out of what love is. And it comes natural. That's the point. It's natural energy, the way that the energy flows with the music, right? So we naturally tune into all the waves. Any of the waves that are distorted, we automatically undistort them. So there's a clear channel so that the light, which is what love is, you experience it. It's coming in. You're experiencing being loved when a monopole comes into your planet system or your galaxy, anywhere we go. Because we've chosen to serve forever on behalf of the law of one. So we are the law of one. We are what love is. So I realized that when I communicate something in the future of something I experienced, say, before, right? Then what I will try and do, much like the way that actors do, is to sort of replicate, but I'm never going to be able to replicate it because I don't experience the same thing twice. I'm not a copycat. That's the difference. That's how you know the difference between what it is as the other, as a result of all the fractures of going to war against another seeded race that causes trauma to a soul. Goes dark. That's an altar. Now the altar is not experiencing what love is because it was traumatized by another unit of energy that's aware of itself. That's how I measure it. That's why I don't measure it based on the name you want to give to a particular race, like an Anunnaki or Draco. I throw all that out. It's energy. What does the energy feel like? See? Well, if it's anything less than what love is, then it's less than what I am. That's how it's measured. It's like a built-in mathematician with a calculator. It just tells me that's a fallen spirit. Because spirit is in energy. That's what it is. So I don't perceive it as a race. Or even a seeded race. Okay? I read it as the waves. Vibrational waves. What does it feel like? Because we're antennas. So it's an antenna read, which is a map read, which is a pattern, which are wave patterns, geometric wave patterns. Okay, and that's pretty simple. That's basic. Anybody that runs an antenna, okay, knows how to do that. And I run a cosmic level antenna because I'm a cosmic spirit. Okay? That means I've chosen to serve forever on behalf of all of you. Wherever life exists, you will experience what I am, which is what love is. That's why I cry every day. And I cried a lot this morning. I'm crying right now for all of you. Okay? Because I'm not supposed to experience any of you suffering at all. Not for 1 nanosecond. I know what it's like to experience a pure as you can possibly imagine a spiritual realm. Those are the realms we create, that we live in. So I knew at 4 years of age, I'm not home, but I'm at home. Which means I never lost the center point from which it all comes. That's an eternal blessing. That's an eternal gift. So a lot of times when you experience me in the mirror, experiencing the emotional side, like sometimes it's like a father or a commander in a military outfit. What you're experiencing is the seriousness. Man, he's serious. He's serious. Because you see a male body, so I have a more male voice. See? It's not like, the higher octave, higher. Right? The seriousness is born out of how much I care and how much I love you. So the communication is like saying, this is serious stuff. Please regard it that what I'm sharing with you is serious, because you don't want to see anybody get hurt or traumatized as a result of not paying attention. Okay? Because ultimately, any commander knows that if you haven't provided everything that your troops need so that every single one of them come home untouched, because we've done this right. That's called a seamless transition, much like a transit system of consciousness as a transportation vehicle, in which the purest of light wants to make sure that this is a seamless transition so that we don't upset anybody. It's like upsetting the apple cart, right? Yeah, exactly. Because the last thing that we want to do is to lower your energy, because that's what it does. Instead, for people to experience and realize they actually have a reason to celebrate life with love, because we're here. We're ending all this. Enough units, I describe it differently, enough units of energy that represent consciousness, that represent living spirits with a soul, got the memo. Okay? So those that know in their heart and soul, we're ending Star Wars forever, as if they never occurred. Okay? This is throughout the entire multiverse. Okay? Because when it began with the one, and then you have the first war between one seeded race and another seeded race, now the other race has a reason to want to do what? Get back what it lost from soul fractals. That's right. So they use other means trying to do that instead of healing themselves and experience what love is. But now we have another race, as a result of what they did, have to pay for their debt. How are they going to heal themselves? By becoming one again. That's what a monopole polarity integrator does, is to reintegrate everything that was lost from the point of inception of the first fractal of light that was lost as a result of a war. Because you can't be at war in your mirror and be at complete still point of the law of least effort at the exact same magnetic moment. You see where we're headed? That's the truth of it, because I got the speed memo. That's why we're all here. Have a beautiful day. I love you all. Be good to yourselves.